as maybe, as somebody says, or as the hymn says, God moves in mysterious ways, or whatever it is, becomes a kind of standalone proverb, and then it doesn't matter where it came from. This is again something you see all over the internet, all kinds of quotations attributed to anybody, all kinds of people, completely kind of without foundation. I think I read there's a technical name for this, and it's called Churchillian drift, because so many things are attributed to Churchill, and people assume that because Churchill said some kind of, couple of pithy sayings, that he must have said everything clever. So all kinds of things get attributed to him. I recently read something where the person said, as the old proverb says, the past is a foreign country, they do things differently there. Of course, it's not an old proverb at all, it's from a 20th century novel, isn't it? So, but something which, it sounds like a proverb, that's part of why it's so memorable as the first line of a novel, and then it kind of gets taken into kind of proverbial culture, and it has a life of its own, independent of its origins.
Might have a death of its own if not used anymore.
Yes, and clearly proverbs do die, don't they? They become less relevant. But this phenomenon of things being attributed to famous people is something that, again, you see in medieval culture, not so much in Anglo-Saxon literature, but the interesting thing about later kind of 13th, 14th century proverbs is they're very often attributed to Alfred the Great, so who didn't really... he was, as we'll see later today, he was very interested in wisdom and in wisdom literature, but he didn't make up proverbs or anything like that, because it's not what people really do. But very often you get collections. There's a whole collection of proverbs from the 13th century, which is known as the Proverbs of Alfred, and it's a list of proverbs in verse. Some of them are the same as the Durham proverbs, so there's a kind of continuing tradition of proverb collection, but they're all attributed to Alfred the Great, and it says. The idea is that Alfred was sitting in council with his followers, and he was giving them advice because he's a wise king, he's kind of the symbol of a wise king, and these are the proverbs that he spoke. So there's this kind of linking up of traditional proverbs with one sort of named